Okay, here we are with the Mark II handbrake. No, not an emergency brake, it's a handbrake. Used for doing hill starts and when you stop at traffic lights. Yes, novel concept, huh? That's how we are taught to drive in England, the correct way. So, emergency brake. Yeah, if you're having to yank this thing on, I think you're going to be too fucking late. There are all sorts of pieces here. And I got to figure out how the hell they all go back together. I know how some of them go, and I'll figure out the rest. We have these kind of strange. Well, look at this. That's a gasket there that obviously goes on the not the firewall, on the transmission tunnel, for where this pipe. Sorry, it's not a pipe. It's a rod. Goes through. Don't lie to me. It's hollow. It's a pipe. And various brass fitments and the ratchet mechanism and a couple of cotter pins, some nuts and bolts and washers, and they come on. It's for the switch, brake light switch, and obviously the main rod that actually goes underneath the car to attach to the cable, and I got a brand new one of those. This is my original handbrake lever. You don't love a lever, or lever your lever, lover. Yeah, the chrome's not the best, and it's got some really nasty fucked up shit there, but that's just too bad. In this piece, there are two spacers, for want of a better word, and I've put those in there already. I was going to take them out to show you guys, but I'm not. So just bear in mind there are two spacers there that need to be pushed in, and you'll see how this all goes together in the next moment or two. Okay, with the help of parts manual, etc., I will be able to get this back in the correct order. Before I actually do any of it, let me show you the things that I can show you. So here we have obviously the main handle, and there is a cover that goes over there. Why? At this moment, don't know. I think it's probably got something to do with when you push the button here. That brings the line up correct for the teeth on this clip, because that will be in there, goes on to here. Oops, hang on a second. If I could get it around the right way, it'd probably help. Jeez, I did it earlier. Well, anyway, you get the idea. It goes on there. I can't remember which way around it went now. I think it goes that way around. And the switch will come up and touch it. All right. You'll see it all when I put it all together. I'm just kind of faffing about a bit at the moment. And then we have this brass. It's just a... I want to say it's a bearing because it's brass, but you know what I mean. Anyway, and then there is obviously this plate that goes with it, and this is the gasket that would, in theory, be on there, but as you can see, it's oops, get it around the right way, Morton. It's kind of buggered, but as you can see, the shape is there for the gasket, and also for this seal, which way around did that go? That way. So this is up against the transmission tunnel, the seal. Geez, hang on a minute. No, it can't be because of that hole. You see, I haven't looked at this yet. I'm just kind of fumbling my way through. Because that... would line up on that. Thusly? No. Thusly. just like that. So they'll line up, and then the gasket, where the gasket goes, who knows? I know the gasket's got a hole in it, so the gasket must go. Oh dear, look at the state of this. Gosh, what a mess. Alright, I'll figure that out and I'll show you as I do it, because otherwise you're going to be cussing me and saying, well, you never really showed us, did you? And I think it's kind of like that. Kind of. But, you know, don't quote me on that. But I think that's kind of how it goes, and then the plate will go on there, and then this will go up against the sill, I believe. But we will see. Now I have these two split pins. Sorry, cotter pins. One definitely goes in there for underneath the vehicle, and that comes with a split pin. The other one I'm not sure, in all honesty. It could be from the other end. I don't think it's through here. It might be through here, but I have 4 bolts to deal with. And at the moment, okay, yes, I could lose 2 of them in there, but then where did the other 2 go? Not in here, that's for sure, because that's a big bolt. That's a big bolt, baby. Yeah. And I've already, as I mentioned, pushed these 2 in here. If you don't powder coat them, they'll go in easy. I powder coated mine and just squeezed them in. It wasn't a big deal. So that's something that's up to you. All right, let's stop fucking around and let's get on and start putting it together piece by piece, so that you can see what the hell I'm prattling on about. Well, one of the first things you got to do, start assembling this, is push this in through here with the 2 spacers on there already. I've already squeezed them in, as I've mentioned before, and just push them in through the back here. Then what will happen is that this rod will go in there, thusly. Now what we need is the right size bolt, and that is just definitely not it. I wonder if it was one of these cotter pins. I don't think so, but let's see. See if it will go through. No, they're obviously wrong. So I definitely need to get a nut and bolt that will go through here to hold this, so that when you pull it does what it should. So let me find myself a nice nut and bolt for that. I'll be back. All right, I have made up a new gasket out of some cork. I will be coating it in copious amounts of gasket sealant of some description. It has nothing to do with this side, although the shape is the same. It goes on the opposite side, and in my case, being a right-hand drive vehicle, this goes on the left-hand side to blank off the hole where this goes on the right-hand side. Obviously, because my car is a right-hand drive, this goes on the right-hand side on the transmission tunnel, or the prop shaft tunnel, whatever you want to call it. So this goes on the other side, which of course will take those 2 bolts, and these 2 will belong with this. What I do have to do is make up some kind of rubber gasket, and I do have some sheets of rubber, so I think that shouldn't be too difficult. And the only reason to make it up is to prevent fumes and the shit coming in. You really don't want shit coming in. So that is how that's going to work. This means I can clean these up, clean up the heads. I think I'm going to do some zinc plating. I'm going to do some zinc plating on those, and some zinc plating on those, and some zinc plating on that. Ooh, hang on, I might just get myself a couple of stainless steel bolts, because obviously one is here, and the other one goes through there to hold that in position. Yep, all right, so that is what we're going to do with those. Zinc plating, yum, yum, yum. I like to do zinc plating. Gotta clean up some shit too. I've got some other stuff that I need to do, but I need to clean them up first. Okay, let's get on, stop prattling. So this is how it looks assembled. Not in the car, of course. This little plate here has to go on a certain way and is ready for the brake switch, which will be down here, so that you know when the brake is on or off. This plate is to help you get things together inside there, although I must admit I didn't. Then you put a little split pin through it. Let's see, up this end, I don't have this rubber gasket, and this is useless. So at the moment I've put on 4 O-rings that I have, and I'm hoping that once I get that bolted up, that's going to squeeze and form a nice seal. I can't think why it wouldn't. This is our little ratchet, and this is something you should never do. That's lazy, and it also wears out the ratchet. You push the button on the way up and on the way down. And those of you that don't are morons, because doing that wears the ratchet out. So then you'll end up having to fix it. Because it doesn't take much to just push a little. And you will hear people do it because they're idiots. All right. So the next phase is to, well, I'm just cleaning up these bolts and the bolts for that. Then I will mount this plate, and I will mount this in the car, and I'll show you me doing it, and then we'll go underneath and we will attach this little bracket, and that's just for attaching to the cable, so we'll have to make sure we get that in the right position.